welcome to the Easily Excitable podcast. My name is Tom, and with me this week is Spencer. Hey man, how's it going?
Oh, not too shabby. How are you?
Yeah, things are going all right. It's been a pretty decent day. I went out on a bike ride, had my breakfast, played guitar for a bit, and then went out on a bike ride. So, you know.
I envy you.
I know. So, yesterday Spencer put out a tweet that was like, he got like 100 meters or so from his house, and
literally the back end of my bike just felt like jello all of a sudden.
That's just a shame, innit? Like,
yeah, it was.
I've got this good intention. I'm going to start getting into it, but
yeah, it was. I was so looking forward to it because I don't get to ride to work as much as I used to. See, with having to pick up kid from daycare and all that stuff, and versus my wife's schedule and it's just a big pile of poo. And so every couple Mondays and Fridays, it's weather permitting. Now that it's in theory spring here in Canada, this has been a very unusual spring around here.
Yeah.
In theory, on Mondays and Fridays, I should be able to ride to and from work, weather permitting. Mm-hmm. Weather does not always permit. Yesterday, the weather permitted. It was cold, as in a couple degrees above zero, but I have cold weather gear, so it's not too bad. And it was going to warm up to, and it did eventually warm up to almost double digits, that kind of thing. So it was actually going to be quite a lovely day, and it wasn't going to be a whole pile of wind. And I was like, yes, I get to ride. I'm all kitted up. I go out the door, kiss my family goodbye, and then 100 yards from the house, back into the bike. Felt like jello. I was like, what in the J's is going on here? Of course, I looked down, and the back tire's flat to the ground. So fortunately, it was only 100 yards from the house. I could, walk back to the house, came in the door. My wife was all, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be gone. Aren't you going to be late? And I said, if I don't take the Jeep, I'm going to be late. Do you need the Jeep? No, I don't need the Jeep today. So, because she wasn't going anywhere. Reagan didn't need to go anywhere. So they were literally going to go in the backyard and play when it warmed up. So I took the Jeep and begrudgingly drove myself to work yesterday.
Yeah,
and of course,
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, and of course, I went to grab the spare tube out of the little underseat pack thing, and no spare tube because I used it last fall. Forgot to replenish it. Thanks a lot. Past me. Jerk.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I've had to replace my tire quite a lot because I ride along what used to be a train track path, and so it's flat, it's long, there's tunnels as well. I cycled to the first tunnel today and then turned around and came back, and that was a decent 26-kilometer bike ride.
Nice.
And so yeah, but because it's a valley way where there used to be a train track, there's trees growing by the side of it, and the sides are overgrown. There is a path to go along.
Yeah.
There's just wooden splinters always coming down from the trees, so it just shreds tires. So
I would say that the bed that the train tracks were once upon resting on, wouldn't that be a little bit jagged gravel and stuff like that too? Or has it been well beaten down kind of thing?
Oh yeah. It's been. I think it went out of commission in the early 80s, if I'm not mistaken, and converted then. So it's had 40 years or so to settle out. But there's so many cyclists along there. The weather was all right. It was 12 degrees, and so I was yeah, what a nice morning to go cycling. And then, it was pretty all right. But I got back in and I was just like, okay, my legs. What am I gonna do? So I sat down for a while. But,
wait, remind me again what kind of bike you have.
Oh, I don't know. I'm borrowing my dad's, which is a Trek, and it's
a mountain bike, though, right?
Sorry?
Is it a mountain bike or road bike?
I think it's a mountain bike.
Okay, big fat tires, flat bar, handlebars?
No, it's the medium width tires. Not street tires, but not mega wide mountain.
Oh, so it's a hybrid bike.
Tires. Yeah. Yes.
Okay,
the
cool.
Is a hybrid. So I rode 26 kilometers on that today. Had a good time, but yeah, I don't know. It was a good ride, but I feel like I could have gone significantly faster, and I have gone significantly faster in the past as well, which was a bit frustrating. So, I was like 10 minutes slower over the 26 kilometers, which didn't feel the best. But
yeah, but
an hour, I'm just like, yeah.
Now, is your this personal best that you're talking about that you were 10 minutes over? Is that done on the same bike that you're using right now?
Yes. Yeah.
It is? Okay.
Yeah. I did it. I've done it once on my bike, which is a full suspension mountain bike, which was horribly heavy. And my best time on that was probably, I don't know, 20 minutes slower than the one I did today. So just because it's so heavy and the gears are not suited in any way for it. But
well, not only that, but I mean, you have the full suspension sort of siphoning away a bit of downforce from your pedals too, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, no, I've been using this hybrid for quite some time, and Excellent. It's all right. But I'm about to go somewhere where I'm not going to have a bike for. Well, there's not really any cycling infrastructure in America, so.
Well, it depends on the city.
Yeah. And Macon is not good for it, so I'm just So I'm sitting at the moment, just like, probably not gonna ride a bike in a while. Try and get some done this week. I've just been running. That's when you try and find trails. 2 days I've been running, had some good runs, but just need to get myself back in shape, and that is not being helped by the fact that this morning. Oh no, it was this afternoon. I decided to make myself some honeycomb. Oh yes, honeycomb. So yeah, made myself some honeycomb, which is just golden syrup, sugar, melt that, and then once it's like slightly amber, a bit more amber than it starts, add some bicarbonate of soda, mix it up, and then pour it out, and it will set. And I've had a bit of it, and I'm just like, yes, honeycomb is great.
I'm gonna have to listen back to that and figure out how to do that, because that sounds absolutely awesome. That sounds like something I would be really into.
Simple recipe, but
that'd be great.
It kind of relies on having golden syrup, which I don't know if that's available much overseas.
What kind of syrup?
Golden syrup.
What's golden syrup? It's like Aunt Jemima stuff.
I'm not 100% sure on what it is, but it's not the same as corn syrup. So,
okay,
I'm just like,
I bet you I can get it.
But it's really hard to describe, because in England, in my whole life, it's always been, golden syrup's around, and I've never had to look into it. But I've suddenly realised I'm going to the States, where golden syrup is an oddity and not common, and therefore
it might just be named something else,
Yeah, I've tried to find out what it would be, but I need to do more research. Right now, I do not have an answer.
There might be actually like a chain of stores around here called Bulk Barn, where you might be able to get that kind of stuff. I'll have to look into that.
Fair enough.
I've called them about weird shit before.
So yeah, I've got that going on. Like I've alluded to, I am at this point when this comes out, I'm a week away from travelling to America forever. So I'm
I mean, you'll be back for visits.
Change. Sorry.
You'll be back for visits. It's not like you're being exiled or anything like that.
Yeah, no, I'm moving to America, so yeah, and that's all. I can't remember when we last spoke exactly when it was. I think it was just before I was due to go to the embassy, if I remember correctly.
That's right. Yeah.
Or I was working early, and it came out the day before.
Yes.
I went to America, because your album came out the day before that we recorded it as well.
Yeah.
But that podcast itself came out like the week after I'd been to the embassy, so we were unclear on what was happening. But yeah, now everything's like been nailed down. I'm flying next week, and everything's just happening, and I'm just getting more and more like, I know what amps I want to get, and then I'm just, yeah, so that's a good time.
Focus, priorities, focus.
Oh yeah, we spoke about the Supro Blues King, and yeah, I've like heard it a few more times. I'm just like, oh, this sounds great. I am very happy with my choice in that. And then the Fender Bassbreaker 15 watt, that sounds great as well. I drew up myself some little diagrams for like how to wire everything, and so that I can like properly use the effects loops and run a wet dry setup, and also run a stereo setup as well.
You got entirely too much time on your hands.
At the moment,
that's what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just sitting around chilling out, just trying to get stuff organised. All my stuff went last week. I shipped it. It's all got crated and boxed up. I put my copycat in the box that went as well. And so I'm going to have to rewire that when I get over and just tweak it so it's down to 110 volts. And yeah, it's all happening right now. But at the same time, I do have a lot of free time.
There's a lot of convergence going on.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, you can attribute to having at least a little bit of downtime right now to the fact that you plan this out really well in advance.
Oh yeah, like I am meticulous for my planning abilities and doing stuff. Although that hasn't rung true for the podcast as of late.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I was frantically messaging people on Saturday and Sunday to find someone to record with, but that's beside the point. And then I've also now got my guests set up for the next few weeks. I'm going to record them before I go to America, so that I'm not rushing around and trying to get things recorded when I'm the busiest I'm going to have been in a while. So I'm trying to just plan that out and just get stuff recorded. So we will see, but
I think it'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so too. But well, yeah, it feels really, really busy at the moment, and like the time's just melting away as well as like it gets closer and closer to the time that I'm going to fly. So I'm just in awe of the passage of time right now, I guess.
Yeah, just wave at me when you hit the eastern seaboard. You know, when
absolutely. I know that I fly over St. John's anyway, so.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious if you had a stopover, man. I would make a point of getting to the airport.
Oh, absolutely.
I would totally do that. If you all of a sudden say, "Hey, we had emergency landing at YYT." What are you at right now? I said, "I'm on my way to you." I would seriously do that. I would hop in the Jeep and I'd just drive up there.
Yeah. So the flight's so odd as well, because that is halfway through my flight. I flew over where you are, and I'm just like, I'm over the land. I'm nearly there, and I'm just like, I'm not nearly there.
No, well, you'll hit land, and it'll be like, hey, look, that's. No, it's not.
No.
I mean, that's one of the reasons that St. John's used to have such military strategic significance during World War II and stuff like that, right? I mean, it was the first point of contact.
Yeah.
From west to east, or east to west, or some direction to another direction. I don't know.
Both ways, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh my.
So, crazy. So your last time we spoke, your album had just come out.
Yep.
How immediately the reception was good.
Yep.
How much more reception was there following its release, and did you get a bunch of reviews or things like that?
We didn't get any. I don't think there's been many reviews or anything like that. There's been a couple. All were favorable, except for Reddit,
good.
Which was just summarily just it was like Reddit is. Last time we talked, we were talking about how basically Jeremy talked me into ordering some hard copies, and I was of the firm opinion that he was going to I thought he was going to end up like kicking boxes of CDs in his basement for eternity. Turns out not the case. We sold out of all our hard copies, the first round of hard copies anyway, in about a week.
Cool. Nice.
So I was happy to be wrong. I think the second round is already, like the second order of CDs, they're already in. I think they've already been shipped, and I think people are starting to get them. I'm seeing an uptick in posts tagging me and with pictures of one of the Horde, in people's possessions. So, which is really cool.
Yeah,
I like seeing that stuff. It's weird, but it's nice seeing this. It was weird to me anyway. I'm not used to not used to it. So yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, wicked. Yeah. If you, I don't know, last time we were speaking, actually, you'd already said you'd started working on new stuff. So what was the point of me going to ask, have you started working on new stuff? Because I know you have. Yeah,
no, actually, just not long before we started recording, I actually had an email from Jeremy, and we're actually working on something else now, and something has come up, and in a sense, we're being commissioned for something. So as I have more details, I'll get them released. Well, I'm allowed to talk about it anyway, so.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. What else has been keeping you busy? Did you? What was it? I saw you saw. Did you see Bumblebee? Was it?
I finally got a chance to pick up the Bumblebee Blu-ray.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was supposed to loan that to my buddy this morning. Bugger. Oh well. Yeah. Finally saw Bumblebee. This past weekend. I actually ended up having to watch it in two chunks, like first half, second half, over the course of 2 nights, just because time has not been a friend of mine lately. Or I should say free time has been elusive. And it was fantastic. Even my wife, who's not a Transformers fan, and I can't stress that enough, she watched the first half of it with me, and she was impressed by it. She was like, this is not bad. I'm actually liking this. Now, I ended up watching the second half without her because she was busy doing something, but I had some spare time, so I watched the second half, and she's like, oh, you watched the second half? And I was like, yeah, I'll watch it again. I have no problem doing that. Yeah. And she was like, all right, good enough. We'll do that. So we have a half movie date at some point in our living room later on. I'm also working on a local recording project for a Jackie Sullivan, a local singer-songwriter, and she's really, really good, and I'm liking what we're doing, and we're actually almost done the recording process. Like, nice. I say within another week and a half, it'll all be buttoned up, and I won't be mixing it mostly because time is, again, not on my side. So, yeah, things have been picking up around here in the past few weeks. Like work-wise, like actual day job stuff, and so yeah, time is it's in everybody's best interest that I sort of hand this one off for mixing, just because I know I won't be able to put the time into it like I normally would. So yeah, and then there's day job stuff.
Yeah, fair enough. Cool.
And family stuff. So.
I was watching. What was I watching? I was watching that pedal show. I can't remember whether it was the week that's just been. No, it was the week before. And they were talking about how to play in a band, play with another guitarist. And I thought it was a really interesting episode that they did. And then it just made me go like, oh, I just want to play guitar with people and write music with people and get in a band. And it's just, when I get to the States, I'm just going to be actively searching for musicians in the local area that I can just...
Yeah, you'll be in a good spot for it.
Yeah. Hopefully, I know that there's jam nights and open mics and things like that. So
yeah, it's Georgia, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
In Georgia, just south of Atlanta. So
yeah, okay.
Music in that city. So
yeah, I got a friend that in Atlanta, or just neighboring Atlanta anyway, Lee Fleer, and she is a badass guitar player. Nice. I can't stress that enough. So, if you are having trouble finding someone, let me, I'll email Lee and see what she can find and drum up for you.
Nice, that'd be cool. But yeah, no, I'll try. I'm really, really keen to try and get stuff. Find people to record music with, and perform with, and just have a good time and try and figure out how to write music.
Cool.
But yeah, cool. I can't think of much else to say.
No, well, I mean, not a heck of a lot has happened.
No.
Lots has happened. It's just it's been a very short time frame, so yeah. It's just, I mean, it is all moving forward. It really is. And I mean, how are you feeling now that you're this close to this major, life-changing event?
I'm excited. And yeah, that's about it. Like, I'm excited, but I'm like kind of calm about it all. I'm just waiting in anticipation of everything actually happening and progress being made. So
nice. Yeah, and it is progress being made, right? I mean, this is something you've been working towards.
Yeah.
So, man, thumbs up to you.
Yeah.
This is great. I mean, you're taking this leap, and it's very admirable, and I'm proud of you.
Cheers. So yeah, it's just it becomes more real every day. So I'm just like, oh.
Think of how real it's going to be when you step on the plane, man.
I know, right? I know. So yeah, it's just thinking and taking my time and just trying to make sure that I remember everything I need to remember. Make sure everything is accounted for and everything.
Your fiance's name is Rachel. Remember that.
Yes, I've got to remember that my fiance's called Rachel.
I'm sorry, that was a bit of a dick move.
Nah, it's fine. just gotta not get overwhelmed by it all. But I'm doing pretty well on that. And just using my physical journal to just write down any thoughts I've got and just get thoughts out of my head and cope that way as I do for pretty much everything.
Yeah, there you go.
So,
I mean, just take. If something does crop up, one little problem at a time, man. That's all you gotta do. Mm-hmm. Just same thing. Just deal with one thing at a time. Work from there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Spencer, where can we find you across the internet?
YouPorn. I mean, no.
No.
No, I certainly hope not. I really do hope not. I would be disturbed if my facade showed up on any of those sites. I can be found on Twitter as Spencer in NL, which is basically Spencer in Newfoundland. I am on the Rooster Teeth site under Grenew, although I have not been as active there since the new beta rolled out, mostly because I'm having a little bit of a hard time figuring it out. But that's just me. That's totally on me. And the band stuff, the 1551 stuff, can be found on all the usual marketplaces. CD Baby, iTunes, Google Play. Thinking what else? Well, that's it.
Cool.
That's what I can remember.
The internet at DestroyTopham or at Etherfire, that's YTHAFAR. And that's on Twitter and Instagram, really. I need to post more on Instagram. Mainly because that's where most of the people who I worked with are, so it would be cool to just prove to them that I'm still alive and things are happening. So that's why there'll probably be an uptick there at some point soon.
Cool.
But yeah. Cool.
Have I got you on Instagram? I gotta go check that.
You do.
I got you everywhere else.
I do? You do. Yeah. You do.
Shows how much attention I pay to Instagram.
Yeah, no. I posted like twice in the last 3 months, so
in the same boat as me.
But anyway, thank you everyone for listening. Thank you, Spencer, for being my guest this
Cheers.
week.
My pleasure as always.
Have an exciting week. Goodbye.